If Dinosaurs Attack was a movie, plot changes and casting calls. For decades, our Dinosaurs Attack had lived in the public imagination as one of the wildest, bloodiest, most gloriously bonkers trading card series ever released. Conceived as a pulpy homage to the 1950s Monsters on the Loose films, it blended time travel mishaps, kaiju-sized inaccuracies, demon dinosaurs, and enough gore to make a T-Rex blush. But what if the long-rumored movie adaptation had actually made it to the big screen? How would filmmakers shape a coherent storyline out of 55 surreal cards and equally fun? Who would bring these characters and creatures to life? Here's a breakdown of how a modern film version would redesign the plot, tone, and cast. Plot changes from chaotic cards to cinematic storytelling. 1. A more structured narrative, but still wild enough. The trading cards were essentially 55 snapshots of carnage with a light narrative thread. A film would need to weave these images into a three-act, character-driven structure. Proposed film structure: Act 1, the TimeScanner project. Elias and Helen Thorne test the TimeScanner aboard the orbital station Prometheus. Tension builds as the early anomalies, brief visions of prehistoric beasts foreshadow Dane's disaster. Act 2, Global Dino Apocalypse. Instead of random scenes, the chaos becomes interconnected. Governments scramble, media spins out of control, military operations fail spectacularly. Dinosaurs manifest not just randomly, but strategically guided by the malevolent Supreme Monstrosity. Act 3, Cosmic Horror meets Science. The Supreme Monstrosity emerges as a Lovecraftian figure orchestrating the invasion. Elias's dream encounter with the Saurian gains major importance, turning into a key revelation. Dinosaurs have no moral compass because they lack souls. Humanity's only hope lies in a sacrificial gambit. This structure keeps the Cards series iconic set pieces while giving the audience stories emotional momentum. 2. Adjusted tone. Horror comedy with heart. The original Dinosaurs Attack artwork was extremely graphic, even cartoonishly so. A film adaptation would likely balance the brutality with dark humor. Outlaw monster attacks, Gremlins 2, or Tremors. Expect over-the-top kills played for shock laughs, scientists delivering sincere monologues over absolute absurdity, satire of news media, military bureaucracy, and science evangelism. A surprisingly emotional finale between Elias and Helen. 3. The Supreme Monstrosity reimagined. On the cards, Dinosaur Satan is a towering demonic kaiju delights in carnage. The film version could update this as a multi-limbed reptilian deity with 6 eyes, visually inspired by Earl Norham's artwork, voiced a major celebrity with booming gravitas, a true cosmic threat with psychological influence instead of a purely physical monster. Its presence would tie together the film's horror elements and deepen the stakes. 4. Expanded human characters. To support a feature film, more human storylines would be added, including a military subplot led by Lieutenant Colonel Mitchell Stevens, a comedic newsroom subplot featuring the doomed anchorman, a global perspective showing attacks in multiple countries, flashbacks or holograms involving the Saurians' warnings. This ensures the audience stays engaged between dinosaur rampages. Casting calls. Who would play what? Here's a dream cast for a high-budget, darkly comedic adaptation. Elias Thorne, played by Adam Driver. Driver excels in intense, morally conflicted roles. His dramatic weight grounds the insanity around him. Imagine him wrestling with cosmic dinosaur visions. Perfect. Helen Thorne, played by Emily Blunt. Smart, composed, emotionally resilient, the ideal counterbalance to Elias. She could carry the film's final act's heartbreaking sacrifice moment with absolute conviction. The Supreme Monstrosity, voiced by Keith David. Nobody commands the screen or the microphone like Keith David. His deep, resonant voice would turn the monstrosity into a other terrifying godlike presence. The Saurian, performance captured by Doug Jones, voiced by Brenwyn Shaw. Benevolent human-like dinosaur requires grace and otherworldliness. Doug Jones provides the physical elegance. What Ben Wishaw gives the Saurian a soft, wise, ethereal voice. The anchorman, Jason Sudeikis. Smarmy, skeptical, overconfident, and then hilariously terrified. His inevitable demise would be memorable, tragic, and funny. Lieutenant Colonel Mitchell Stevens. Idris Elba. He gives instant credibility to military roles and can balance humor with authority. He'd be the film's steady anchor and made Dino-induced chaos. General Frank Manchester, John C. Reilly, a hapless yet well-intentioned general whose gruesome death becomes one of the film's most shocking moments. Reilly fits the comedic tragic cone perfectly. President of the United States, Bryan Cranston. His cameo would mirror his Godzilla energy, gravitas, concern, and then brutally torn apart by a Pteranodon. Instant classic. Visual style and direction. Preferred director, Joe Dante returned to the project. He's the perfect match for a tone. Dark, campy, energetic, and visually expressive. Alternatively, Guillermo del Toro if they leaned into cosmic horror. Taika Waititi if they emphasized comedy. Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead for a surreal sci-fi thriller approach. VFX style, a blend of practical animatronics for close-ups, CGI for kaiju-scale monsters, painterly lighting for inspired by Earl Norham's card art. This would keep the retro aesthetic while delivering modern spectacle. Marketing tagline ideas, they're back and they're hungry. Prehistory just got personal. Hit nature finds a way, then it eats you. For the makers of Nothing Like Jurassic Park. Final thoughts? Yeah, Dinosaurs Attack movie could have been a cult masterpiece. Equal parts horror, satire, and dizzying spectacle. By tightening plot, embracing the trading cards' absurd energy, and assembling the powerhouse cast, the adaptation would become the chaotic dinosaur epic that audiences never knew they needed. If Hollywood ever runs out of multiverses or reboots, here's hoping these rampaging reptiles finally get their cinematic due. Ever wonder what your favorite games, shows, or cartoons would look like on the big screen? Welcome to our playlist. FX was the movie, plot changes, casting calls. We dive into epic movie adaptations, imagining new twists to the story and casting the perfect actors to bring them to life. If you love exploring alternate versions of the stories you grew up with, or just want to see how your favorite characters would jump from screen to screen, this is your ultimate destination. So hit that playlist, buckle up, and step into the world where anything is possible and every story gets its Hollywood moment.